Wow, what an incredible way to end Xavi's reign as Barcelona coach. Let's have a moment of silence for Luka Modric's son. What an incredible performance from the team. There are so many talking points from this match. The first surprising thing for me was the lineup. It's been a while since we've seen Toni, Kroos, and Luka Modric start together. But what was even more surprising about this match is the positions that they occupied on the pitch. Before the game, I was disappointed to see that Valverde was starting, after he played 120 minutes away at the Etihad on Wednesday. But as Carlo said ahead of the game, he wanted to field his best 11 and he really wanted to get this win today. But ahead of the match, I would have liked to have seen Nacho instead of Valverde and seen Tchouaméni play at the 6. But in this match, Valverde didn't look tired at all. And it was also because of the fact that he was playing more in the 6 role, which meant he had to do a lot less pressing, a lot less running in this match, and he could sit a little bit deeper in front of the back 4. In this match, Carlo opted for a more 4-3-3 setup in this match, with both Vini and Rodrigo playing a little bit wider. But as Carlo likes to do with his formation, he likes the width to come in on the right side from his right back. In this game, it was Lucas Vasquez, and Rodrigo would play a little bit more centrally in possession, but Vinicius was very wide in this game. And Xavi took a little bit of a more pragmatic approach in this game. Unlike the last time we played Barcelona in Saudi Arabia, where they tried to play a very high line, this time Xavi tried to fix that mistake. He still tried to press, but not be very high with the line so that players like Vini weren't playing centrally off of the shoulder of the last defender. What was clear to me in this match from the beginning is the quality of players like Luka Modric and Toni Kroos on the ball is simply amazing. You really can't find players like that in the market today. We have arguably the best generation of midfielders in the world. And I would make that argument against any midfield in the world. But those veterans, those players in possession are incredible. And I'm really glad that Real Madrid kept them on, and hopefully they'll stay on next season because they still have so much left in the tank. But one of the things we have to talk about in this game also is our vulnerability from corner kicks. I noticed this in the game against Manchester City as well, where they were trying to target us by whipping the ball into the 6-yard box. I mean, we conceded pretty early on from a corner kick, and it's because Lunin didn't command his box, and also Kroos missed that header. You just know that Bayern Munich was watching that and thinking to themselves, how can we replicate that? It just felt like every single corner kick, we looked very vulnerable. And everybody knows how dangerous German teams are from set pieces and corner kicks. So I really hope Carlo and his team can work on that over the next 2 weeks. Lunin has proven, since he took over from Kepa, that he's a good quality goalkeeper. But he really needs to command his box a little bit better. And he needs to be a lot stronger from corner kicks. And of course, Barcelona's second goal comes from another Lunin mistake. Now, I know he was the hero just a week ago, and we all celebrated him, and he did really spectacularly in the penalty shootout. But this is how football works. You could be the hero one day, and the very next week be the villain. So I really think Lunin needs to thank Jude Bellingham for saving him, because the headlines and Marca would have been all about how Lunin cost Real Madrid the game and is he going to be good enough to start against Bayern Munich? But now the headlines are all about Jude Bellingham. So Lunin really owes him big time. Another talking point is Camavinga at left back. I'm really happy that Carlo decided to rest both Ferland Mendy and Dani Carvajal, because we saw in this game how critical they are. I mean, defensively, we don't have players that are that strong one-on-one against world-class opposition. No one has dribbled past Ferland Mendy since March 6th. And we saw how valuable he was at the Etihad on Wednesday. A lot of Lamine Yamal's success came from his pace, but also the lack of defensive awareness from Camavinga. So again, I think we need to give a massive credit to Carlo Ancelotti for resting those two players and not trying to push them and not bringing Ferland Mendy on when Camavinga was getting cooked. And a quick side note, I know we're linked with Alfonso Davies, and I've been tracking some of his performances since we're linked with him, and he's not been looking good defensively. A lot of teams can offset the lack of defensive capability from their fullbacks by being possession-based teams and having a lot of the ball. But that's not necessarily how Real Madrid is set up. Our fullbacks get tested. We really need fullbacks that are strong on both sides of the pitch. That's historically how Real Madrid fullbacks have worked. Now, we've seen the likes of Marcelo, who have really succeeded well at Real Madrid because of their incredible abilities going forward. I mean, Marcelo is a generational talent, but he also had Casemiro and Sergio Ramos covering for him whenever the team was in transition. So again, just rethinking this Alfonso Davies transfer and making sure that it does fit the needs of our team. Another player that we really have to talk about in this game is Rodrigo. Over the last few weeks, we've seen how well Rodrigo has looked in some games. The game against Bilbao at home at the Bernabeu, where Vini was suspended, he was playing on the left. Rodrigo looked sensational. He scored 2 really great goals. When he's on the right side, especially when he's isolated from the rest of the team and cut off, you just don't see the best out of him. It seems like Carlo Ancelotti has found a way to get the best out of this crop of players, but he hasn't found a way to get the best out of Rodrigo whenever Vini and Jude are playing, and he's playing on that right side. He really struggles, and it's something that we have to really think about as well in terms of what is the solution. Of course, when Brahim Diaz comes on, he plays up wide on the left, and he looked sensational. We've seen him look very good centrally, and we've seen him look phenomenal today on the left. He just has an ability to take the ball, run at people, and create space for himself. But Rodrigo is really good when he's playing off of other people, when he's connecting with teammates, and he likes to see the game in front of him. He doesn't like it when he's playing on the right side, and it doesn't seem to really mesh with his game well. So I don't know what that also means for the tie against Bayern Munich. Speaking of world-class talents, we have to talk about Vini. I mean, Vini is a game-winning player. He's phenomenal. He's the best left winger in the world. I don't consider Mbappe a left winger. I consider him a left forward. You know, Mbappe plays a little bit of a different role to Vinicius Jr. Nobody's better at being a left winger than Vinicius. But it feels like he's so wasteful at times. He takes an extra touch when he shouldn't. He does an extra dribble when he shouldn't. He needs to clean up some parts of his game. And at times, it could be so frustrating to watch. I mean, he really could have killed this game off. But his ability to create an extra yard of space, to take people on, to beat defenders one-on-one, it's second to none. But he had an opportunity towards the end of the game where he could have shot the ball with his left, but he had that extra little bit of hesitation and he didn't shoot it. And then he ended up shooting it straight at Ter Stegen, completely wasting that opportunity. If he can just limit the number of touches that he takes in front of goal, I think his numbers could even go through the roof. He just needs to work on that finishing part of his game and reducing the number of touches he takes in front of goal. But when he was being substituted, he obviously gave Carlo an earful. And I'm glad that Ancelotti really spoke back to him and told him why he made that substitution. The last thing I want to talk about in this game, fittingly, is Jude Bellingham. This guy is incredible. I mean, for him to be 20 years old and to be doing what he's doing is out of this world. I mean, he's scoring game-winning goals. And he is truly a big part of why we are winning La Liga. There's been so many games where he's helped us win the game by scoring a goal towards the last minute or last seconds of the game. Regardless of the goals, he was just spectacular. I mean, on both sides of the pitch, both offensively and defensively. The tackles he was putting in, the fact that he was pressuring the ball at times where it didn't seem like there was any ability for us to win the ball back is just incredible. I saw a stat where they said Jude Bellingham had the most amount of duels won. We really have a duel on our hands. And another player who really deserves a big amount of credit in this game, obviously, is the player with a goal and 2 assists, and that's Lucas Vasquez. Lucas Vasquez represents everything that is Madridismo. The guy, he works hard for the team. We saw what he did with the penalty shootout, but he just doesn't give up. There are so many games where his abilities are underrated. That goal that he scored was not an easy goal. Vini plays that ball with a lot of whip. I mean, you expect a top-level pro to score that, but still, I can see Jose Luis missing 10 of those. But huge shout out to Lucas Vasquez. What an amazing performance. He's going to put that one down as one of his greatest ever moments in his career. But upwards and onwards for Real Madrid. We are looking good. We pretty much secured La Liga at this point. Now we take on Bayern Munich. I will be doing a full analysis of that game, of where we can exploit Bayern Munich and how we can win that tie. The great thing with our clash in the semifinal is the second leg is at the Bernabeu, which is really a huge advantage for us. And between Dortmund and PSG, a lot of people are expecting PSG to win, but we saw in the ties in the quarterfinal that there was a lot of upsets. People expected Barcelona to win, they didn't. People expected Atleti to win, they didn't. People expected Arsenal to beat Bayern, they didn't. And people expected us to lose to Manchester City. So it's not a foregone conclusion that PSG is going to reach the final. Let me know in the comment section who you guys think will make it to the Champions League final. There's only one game between now and when we travel to Munich to play Bayern, and that's against Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad away from home is not an easy fixture, but given the 11-point lead, this is still a good opportunity for us to rest a lot of key players. Let me know how you guys are feeling about the tie against Bayern. How optimistic are you? Am I wrong in saying that we should feel very, very confident about this tie? I mean, I've seen them this season. They have not looked that good at all. Until next time, Hala Madrid. Thank you for watching.